Welcome to CF 2.0 Geek Out, where we deep dive into ClickFunnels 2.0 and how to use it to grow your funnel building business.
Hey, I'm Susan.
And I'm Andrea.
Come along with us as we learn and discover how to use the new ClickFunnels and how to make it bend to our will. Welcome to CF 2.0 Geek Out.
Yay.
We are going to continue this journey of the Funnel Hub today, but I've done some design work. We're going to show what I've worked on between last Friday and today.
Mm-hmm.
And also I think we're going to dig into some like blog stuff too. I learned we had our first geek session yesterday, which is where we just kind of jump on together. If you want to come work, it's like a work session. But we worked through learning some new things about 2.0 on it, which was really fun. Dan Havey was there, Mark, I think is Step, and his son. I don't remember if it was Cody or Corey, but he was on there. Shout outs to them. And we all kind of had fun working through discovering some new things in 2.0, which was awesome.
Yay.
So I'm going to kind of go through what I discovered, and then we're going to jump into creating some stuff today. But first, we got to talk about something.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, Andrea, I'm going to let you dive into this. I'll share it. Here we go.
Oh boy. Okay. So one thing that I think is important that everybody knows about me is that, because this will be my bias. Okay. So everyone knows, I was in the tech world for 18 years. I did a lot of website product development in the SaaS world. It was, where I come from. And so when somebody has a really strong strategy, for me, because I see strategy as the foundation for all decisions. And yes, strategy has to change and adapt to the times, but that should not be frequent, right? That's hey, when I know I'm making a big strategy change, it's a fundamental shift in how I do business. And so when I came over to ClickFunnels world and Russell convinced me that the websites are dead and funnels the way to go, it took me a while to embrace that because of my background, right? Mm-hmm. And I see my clients deal with this transition too, right? Because it is a very significant shift in the way that you do business, right? A funnel is I'm systematically taking somebody from step 1 to step 2, step 3, step 4, and I'm being very intentional about what I introduce at each of those steps in order to optimize the conversions, right? Where websites are here's everything, info, blah, because it has this philosophy that we can't predict what people want. And so let's just give them all the options and try to make really good information architecture. Okay.
Yeah.
So you could argue both strategies. If we're in a debate, right, in school or something, you could make a case for both strategies. But when I came over to ClickFunnels, I full-heartedly embraced the strategy of funnels. And not initially, it took me a while, but now I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, you know what I mean? Bleeding the ClickFunnels. And so what we're about ready to share with you, I feel it's they cheated on their strategy. They totally cheated. And I don't know if it's just that they have not educated us on the evolution of their strategy, mm-hmm. or if it's because they're in a very different place in their business, and that strategy and pushing that strategy to the masses that they're trying to attract is too far of a leap. Yeah. So, and I don't know, but what I hope at some point Russell talks about is that all of us are at different places in our business journey, and that what ClickFunnels is doing doesn't mean necessarily it's best a strategy for us who are just starting, who need to be seen as an expert, right? Because as entrepreneurs, the brand is us, not our business. Yeah. And so anyway, this is a very long-winded way of saying they went against our strategy. I feel like they're lying to us. No, I'm just kidding. They're not lying, but there's something so Susan actually brought this to my attention. I wasn't in the know. So actually, can you bring up the Funnel Hub, the doc that is the breakdown, the strategic breakdown of the Funnel Hub? I
could.
Oh, okay. But because
probably
we paid for
shouldn't.
Let's not do that. Okay. So we've shared on this course though, or on this program,
yeah,
the systematic breakdown of a funnel.
Why don't I share ours?
Yes, perfect. And the goal is the single number one purpose of a funnel hub is to get people into your funnels right away. And that if it's they so happen to have some kind of SEO lift, they find us on a shadow hub, which I still have my doubts about. But that's the premise, right?
Mhm.
So they're super skinny on copy. If you have content, great, but most of us don't start off with a lot of copy. So it's just basically like, how do we get them into our funnel right away? And how do we, in the funnel philosophy, take them step by step and show them how to enter into our world as best that we can. So would you agree with that, Susan? Would you add anything?
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect.
Okay. So that is the strategy. And to me, that's in alignment with funnel strategy. All right. Well, what Russell has done and ClickFunnels team, if we want to pull that
So
up.
should we just like run through as a reminder,
Yeah,
like here's
yeah.
kind of the section. So go ahead. I'll point.
So the first one is the hero image, right? Your the vision you paint for the future, what you're all about, why people are coming to you, the big invitation. Then the next one is your flagship offer, meaning like this is the thing that I want everyone to have attention on and do. Then the next thing is the customer journey. Like, how do you actually start to come into my world? Step 1, step 2, step 3. Then the next thing is my content hub. So like, what kind of content can you consume from me? And then after that is we usually do a plug into our social. So like some kind of social media feed or something like that.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to jump over to Russell's marketing secrets one. And if you guys have been following along with us, and if you haven't, if you're new and this is the first time you're watching, this is like, I don't know, part 6 of our funnel hub build.
Yeah.
You can go back and watch the previous ones where we have been using marketingsecrets.com as like, we're design hacking it, we're funnel hacking it. We're looking at it and saying, okay, what is Russell doing? Okay, does that make sense for us? Let's do that. So his was a little bit different than what we've been doing. Cause again, like Andrea said, his business and him are in a completely different place than we are. Yeah. But the framework is still the same. There's still the same elements on the page that we just walked through right here. And so yesterday I noticed that the page looks different. So if you go back to our other episodes, you'll see what it did look like. And now it's different. So we still have the hero.
Yeah, we still have the hero. Yep. So that's all true. But
and we're still it's still getting him into his newsletter. But then here's what comes next.
So this to me is a blog post, or it is like what a website would do in terms of like, here's all of my content. And it doesn't, it encourages exploration. And the reason why this is interesting to me is because part of the funnel philosophy is saying, I'm not going to be dependent upon keyword searches. I'm not going to be dependent upon my customer knowing the language of my world and being able to find the stuff in my world. I'm going to just tell them, go to this first step if you're new. Go to this second step if you're new, or if you're a little bit further along. Where they're doing now by just like exposing all of the content from the blog. And I mean, they do say first time here, right? Over on the right. So they have that customer journey there.
But why is it over here?
Exactly.
It should be the prominent thing on the page.
Exactly. And it's like, why side by side? It makes it really messy. And the whole thing of like a confused mind says no, because I'm looking at this, it's like, okay, so I have just a whole crap ton of content over on the left. Then I have my customer journeys over the right. They're competing. There's no visual hierarchy between the two. They seem equal. It doesn't help me understand. Like, to me, I just don't even know why the layout isn't just the customer journey, you know what I mean? And then the content. But the side by side is so odd to me. And the only thing that I can think of to give ClickFunnels the benefit of the doubt is that, again, they're in a different place in their business. They're going for the masses. And maybe those content articles are getting more conversions than getting into the journey steps. It's the only thing I can think of.
So obviously there's some unknowns. Russell knows how to market his business. So we just are confused, and hopefully at some point he'll reveal why they made these decisions. But even like I got into the Mike and AJ's Funnel Hub. It's Russell, I think, has bought it or licensed it to include in the certification program now.
Yeah.
But it's the Funnel Hub Launchpad. And even inside of there, like there's frameworks for every page that you include in a Funnel Hub. And this does not fit that wireframe framework at all.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just interesting. And I'm curious to know why. Also, like, can we just briefly point out the lack of attention to spell check and grammar? So I'm kind of wondering, like, this did just change yesterday. So I'm wondering if there's something happening where they're like, we need to hurry and test this, or they rushed it out. I don't know. But there's like, the last time you were here, it says we're here. So I don't know what's going on, but this is not what a funnel hub should look like according to what we've been taught a funnel hub should look like.
Yeah. Nathan brought up something interesting too. He said that the first time here section is under the blog post on mobile, which is a really interesting decision because they're basically saying that my content now is more important than my journey, my customer journey step. I think that's fascinating. And then Warren said, maybe because the hub is geared, no pun intended, to searchers, people who just trying to see if the person is legit, trustworthy, and too early to send them into a funnel. Okay, I love that you said this, Warren, because I think what you are hitting on is the philosophy of a website is exactly that. So the philosophy of a website is that I don't, my customers could be coming to me from all different angles and I don't know necessarily what they want. So I want to present a bunch of things that they can kind of start to consume in order to get to know me better and then get into my funnel world, right? That's the philosophy of a website.
Yeah.
And it feels like maybe it's super detailed specification, but the funnel philosophy is fundamentally different. The funnel philosophy is saying, I know how to sell my world and my product best. And so I'm not going to allow the wild west of users to come in. I'm going to actually shepherd them through key avenues. And again, I don't know that one is better than the other. I mean, obviously I jumped ship over to ClickFunnels because I think it is better, because the con that I saw in the website world is trying to predict human behavior is the definition of insanity to me. Mm-hmm. So I cannot tell you how many information architectural research projects that I engaged in where basically we were trying to understand the navigation schema and the keyword reference of people in order to surface the best content and make sure that they could get to the thing that they need with what they have in their lexicon. Mm-hmm. It's very challenging to hit the nail on the head well there. Yeah. And even at that, just giving them info vomit without action doesn't lead to conversion. It just leads to a lot of site traffic that I then have to make some kind of leap of intelligence towards targeting back that audience. So again, I don't think one is, I mean, I personally think that ClickFunnels philosophy is better than website philosophy, but there are pros and cons to both. And so I think, Warren, you hit the crux of why I feel like what they've done is like a violation of the funnel strategy to a certain degree. But I could also be being dramatic. And then Donnie says they're currently doing an FH 2.0 mastermind at ClickFunnels headquarters. So maybe we're messing with it during the training. That is so interesting. And I could totally see that. Yeah.
And then Nathan also brought up that he's currently relaunching the Marketing Secrets podcast. So maybe they're just wanting to push more traffic to that for the time being. So yeah. Who knows? Like, maybe this is a temporary thing. Yeah. Of like, hey, this is what we really want to promote right now. So let's just switch it over to this design, and then maybe they'll switch it back or something.
Yeah. All really good points. Thanks, Donnie. Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate you guys' input on that. And Warren, thank you guys.
Yeah, just interesting. So keep an eye on it if it's something that you're like, oh yeah, I wonder what they're doing. Like us, we love figuring out what are they doing, what are they up to,
right? It's like reading the tea leaves, ClickFunnels tea leaves.
Yes. Okay, so are we ready to switch gears?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, all right. So for the remainder of this
amazingness that you have discovered.
Yeah. So okay, so this looks different from the last time we were doing our live stream. I did add in some content. It's not set in stone. I was really just putting in filler stuff at this point, so don't use this as an example of your own. as far as words. But it's coming together. It's coming together. So I've really only just been working on our home page. And what I wanted to show you, because we were talking about, well, let's start figuring out how we want to do the blog. And really our blog is just going to be embedding our YouTube videos into the blog so that they show up down here. But I learned some things on how to make this work. It did not come naturally, intuitively on setting it up. And there's probably a help doc, because I don't know if it was Mark on our geek session yesterday or Dan, but I think somebody looked it up, and so there might be a help doc in here that you'd be able to just figure it out faster if you just go to that. But what we wanted to do, or what I had envisioned, was like, okay, I want like our 3 latest posts or 3 latest videos to show up right here. So what you have to do is add, I'm going to pretend, let's pretend this is not here, and I'm going to add in a new element.
Before you dive into that, Susan, are you going to get into the stuff that Dan was super excited about on the flex?
I can't wrap my head. Oh, I know a little bit about it because I played with it, but I don't know that I fully can wrap my head around it. But yes, I will show what I know.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
And then we'll go from there. And then Dan can be in the comments like, you forgot like the coolest part. Like, I don't know the coolest part yet. That's not what I said. Yeah. But I was playing with it for something. I'll go to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But for the blog post, so this is not for like creating your blog page. This is like on the homepage of the funnel. You just want the latest things popping up.
A sneak peek. This is a little peekaboo. Portal.
Yeah. I still don't quite understand all that there is to this, but if we scroll down to the blog elements, we have blog, we have blog categories, we have blog posts, and that's it. So we have these other like sub blog categories. And what I did was I added a collection, and then it looks like this, which is like, oh my gosh, I don't want that many things showing up right here. I just want 3. And then if you choose like, well, I didn't quite understand what columns mean, and I still am not quite sure what columns mean, because if you choose 1, then it still looks like this. It's still giving you 3.
It's got to be.
And if we back up, it's like, let me back up and I'll do that again. And instead I'll choose 3, because originally I was thinking, well, I want 3 columns because I want 3 there. It actually puts 3 in each row. In a row, it's not a row, it's a column. So you can see the blue going around each one of these things. So it's a row, but it's really being treated more like a column in this situation. But you can see add row. So I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, this seems broken. I don't know what to do. Let me delete this one and we'll go back to the one I just added here. There are some more settings.
Element right there, a blog post. It's a new, it's like, it's
because it's like dynamic. I think dynamic things are pink.
Oh, right. Because universals are pink too. Yeah. So universals are purple.
Universals are purple.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then dynamic things are pink. I think that's my assumption.
Okay.
I think at this
we've
point.
got blue, orange, and green are normal things still, and then we've got purple and pink added to the mix.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I come and add my elements now, and I go back down to the blog elements. Oh, let me click blog. They're right here because it already knows this is for blogs, so it put them at the top this time. Okay. What you need to do is put in the information you want visible. You have to add them as individual elements. It's not like add like one element and now your blog thing is going to be there, like your blog information. So what I did was I wanted the name, which is the post title. So it's the name of your blog post. So I'm going to click that one. It'll add that in. And then I wanted the image. Whoops, not twice, just once. And you see how it's putting it in every single one of those? I only have to add it to one, and it's putting it in all of them.
What is it that it's putting in it? You know what I mean? Like, is it like a generic image?
It's so you can set a featured image on your blog post.
Right.
Yeah. And then it's just going to pull that in. It
And if
is
you,
the container, the element here that is the collection, this
uh,
pink. When I dropped this in there, that's what's controlling what it's doing. Because if you were just to come in here and start adding these blog elements like blog name, or let's go to post name, image, summary, like if you do it just that way and without putting it into this collection, it's not going to do anything, because this is how you would go and build like your template page that you want your blog to display on. Like if they were to click to go read your blog and it takes them to another page, that would be where you would be doing this. But because we aren't actually using our homepage as a blog homepage, it's not the place where you're going to read the blog. It's just showing a little snippet, a summary of it.
Yeah.
We want it to be inside of this collection. So then the last things I did was I added a summary. And then this link is the read more link. It took me a little bit to figure that out too.
One thing just to, I really like how they, because, how to explain this? I'm wondering if Blog Collective could actually be also, connected to other things. Just because one thing I really loved about that is that it updated it for all of it, right? Like how many times do we use copy and paste? You know what I mean? Or like copy and, when we're doing like similar elements. So it's
you can put other elements into this.
But I mean, it systematically puts it to all, which is really nice. Can you delete it on one?
Oh, I was just see, it changes it on every single one of them though.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah. So that's, I know where you were going with that thought, but that's not how this one's going to function.
All right. We have to test it though. So this is very specific to blog.
Yeah. So then there's the advanced settings. And here is where you choose, how many items per row do I want? How many items per page do I want? So if I only wanted the 3 on my page total, and I only want 1, hold on, that's not, oh wait, something's happening over here. It's vertical. Okay, let's see what I did. Items per row, I want 3.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. That was my mistake. And we're seeing it twice because this is the one that I already had in there.
Yeah. Okay.
So these are 2 separate things. So what I already had and what we just built. So that's all I'll let you do. I'm like, okay, now that I know how to do it.
I mean, it is nice that you don't have to touch every element, right? Like it's nice for just stylization.
Yeah.
Which they definitely have way more intention in the stylization aspect in 2.0, which is nice.
And you can change like the color of the buttons and the color of the numbers. Now they're blue. Like, so they do give you a lot of, you can hide it. So I probably need to come over here and hide ours because we don't have pages. We just have 3 that are showing. It's a little tricky to get to that pink settings, but I'll just hide that. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one and I'll keep our other one.
Okay.
And that is, I'm going to save this. This is our universal. We don't want problems saving the page. It's still trying to save. So
what was the error message? What did it say?
It said it said, oops, looks like we're having trouble saving the page. Still looks like it's trying. Okay, but this is the section here, which is now looking like this. So we have like the 2 sample blogs that comes already loaded into your account. I added an image to this just for testing purposes. And then I created a 3rd test post here. Okay. And currently they are not clicking over to where you can actually read them. If I click on the read more, we're getting an error. So
what's happening in the, because you're in preview mode, right?
I am in preview mode. You're right. I just thought of that too. Let's go to live mode and see if that makes a difference.
Yeah.
But I have another theory on why it's doing that as well. Yeah. So I think what we need to do next is I'm going to exit out of here. I hope I guess it's okay if it doesn't save, because if it doesn't save, it'll go to our last save. Oh, geez.
Don't
Try to
they?
just get to the account. Well, that's not what I want.
Hmm.
This is currently our homepage because we haven't made our other
Oh,
slides yet.
Nathan asked a really good question, Susan, and that is,
Yeah.
are those colors that you're picking, did they automatically match the style guide?
Oh, yes. The, oh my gosh, what's happening? Well, I don't want to log out. I want to just go to my account. The colors when I was choosing the like on the numbers on the page numbers on the bottom, those were our colors because they're part of our style guide. So it already loaded them in there.
Which is super cool. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like if you use Canva and you create a brand kit. And so then you always have your color schema right there in any design that you do. That's what it reminds me of, which is it's so awesome from a time saving perspective.
Well, our little live here might be cut short because I can't get back to our account.
Oh no.
Let me try.
Do you want to try to go into an incognito moment?
Ways. Yeah, I could try that too. I can also.
Yeah, Nathan. Oh man, you said what I think a lot of us don't want to say. I'm gonna hold out hope, but October 4th does feel pretty dang quick for what we're seeing.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, hold on, guys. This is just kind of the fun things that just happen sometimes of.
I have to say, just so I have to say, it does feel, I'm trying not to go there, to be honest, Nathan. Just more like I'm holding out hope. I'm really holding out hope for ClickFunnels that they are able to get the resources they need to get that across the finish line. My heart feels for them because I appreciate what they're trying to tackle. It's pretty big, and it's a lot of eyes on them. So I'm hoping.
Yeah. It's not working in incognito either.
Dang. Okay.
Darn.
Warren has a comment saying, seeing the blog features, thanks for the demo. This is awesome. It seems they're going for a WordPress killer. That is absolutely what they're doing, Warren. Like no holds barred. That's absolutely what they're doing. Maybe they realize the general public first wants, a website, and they used to fight that, as Andrea said, but maybe now, yes, I think you are spot on. But maybe now they're thinking of it like a lead magnet, get them into CF, giving them what they want, and then teach them the superior funnel strategy. Warren, that is 100% alignment with what we think too. Yeah. I think even in Susan and I's business, when I do have a website client, which doesn't happen very often, but when I do have a website client, the very first product that I get them into is a funnel hub project, just to help them make that shift. So yeah, I think you're spot on with that, Warren. It's like meeting them where they're at, meeting the masses where they're at, and then bending them to our will. It's like the siren song. The website has now turned into the siren song, into hopefully not like fiery cliffs of of shipwreck, but
I was going to say
promised land of ClickFunnels.
I'm still trying to get this to log in, but I was going to say if you're a funnel builder, I don't know how many of you watching right now are funnel builders, but I have a client right now I'm building a funnel hub for. Yeah. And I have realized like what an amazing offer to just get to know someone's business.
Yes.
If any of you are familiar with intensives, so you basically are getting paid to create your proposal. It's Julie Stoen really marketed this a lot. She had an offer teaching people how to do it. I forgot what it was called, something about proposals. But
Moot also has a really awesome model on this.
And
like 100% conversion. Like it's awesome.
Yeah. And then if you're a design hacker, when you get to 10K, like Catherine Jones teaches you this too. And so you do your intensive, it lets you like dive in, get to know their business, create the game plan, like the blueprint of what comes next. And then you sell them the actual thing that they came to you for, of like, I really needed a funnel built. Like, well, okay, let's do this first. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out the strategy that you need to use, and then we will make your funnel for you. I'm finding that the funnel hub offer of like going through this process with my client right now is kind of a replacement for that intensive. It's like, well, let's like dive in. I know all of his offers. I know his audience. I know his brand. I know all the things. Yeah. And in going through doing this thing that's just like, okay, it's just a funnel hub.
Yeah.
it's allowing me to see like, but after this, then we need to focus on like redesigning your funnels because they're not up to par with your funnel hub anymore. And then I know you're launching this other thing, so you're going to need a membership area for that. Like, so it just allows you to see into their business so much that you're going to be able to like keep yourself busy with things to do for this client if you're delivering and it's working for them. So it's really, really awesome for that to happen.
Yeah. It's ongoing work, right? So I think we've done about 20 of the funnel hubs so far, and 100% of the clients that we did funnel hubs for, there was always a second project. 100%.
Awesome.
So and it was always a higher price point project too.
So Tracy's on. Hey Tracy, she just asked if 2.0 works with
oh my goodness, girl. Hi, it's been too long. Sorry, Susan. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like with a store and not just funnels, I think that's the idea. I think in the future they're going to be having something to do with carts, e-commerce. I don't know if that means it's an integration or if they're going to have their own thing. I think we got a sneak peek at kind of what they had in mind for that during their promo video, but I can't quite remember what that was like. Do you, Andrea?
I do remember it, but I think right now we really haven't been exposed much to what that world looks like. I will say though that at least looking through like the tech lens of what we can see in ClickFunnels 2.0 right now, there seems to be a greater emphasis on I'm going to get a little geeky. So there seems to be a greater emphasis on very small units of data that are available and made available through elements, right? And so why that's important and relevant, Tracy, to your question is that if you think about e-commerce, right, it's very similar to blogging in terms of there's a lot of little like articles, right? There's a lot of little products that have a lot of data around it. You know, what's the title? What's the image? What's the price? What's the product? Who's it, right? So like there's a lot of data in terms of these types of products and systems. And so what we're seeing on the blog side in terms of them being able to manage that and cross-reference it, I think it's not hard to make the leap to say that same technology that's fueling the blog is going to fuel the e-commerce experience. I think that would be super easy, you know, at least from a technical standpoint, I think to do. So that's not a direct answer to your question, Tracy, but if we were like, again, reading the tea leaves that we can see right now, it seems like with what they're building architecturally, there's a lot of ground for support of a more e-commerce type of experience.
Just a follow-up, and then we'll go to Nathan's question. Tracy did say like they're launching a subscription box, trying to figure out how she can build it on CF. I will say that you should just do what you can do now. It's probably not going to involve ClickFunnels because they're not going to have that capability for a long while in 2.0. And it's probably not, I mean, you could maybe use 1.0 and do integrations and stuff, but I'm not totally familiar with how to do that. So
CF Pro Tools, Tracy, is what you want to look at. Jamie has some pretty cool stuff in order to support more of a cart-like experience that you would see in subscriptions and e-com right now. And I think Susan's with me on this. Susan, correct me if I'm wrong. For all of my clients, I'm actively saying we're not building in 2.0 right now. I have 2 clients that we're building funnel hubs for, but it is because that is not a main part of their business. It's just putting something out there and get the chops if I was first into 2.0. So,
just to give everybody like a reminder of the state of 2.0, we can build, like we're building our, I can't even show you because I can't even log in. So that's the state we're in, is we can't even log back in right now. But we can't even actually collect. Oh, I'm in. I just refreshed and it's working again. They must have had a hiccup. We can't even collect email addresses and names at this point. We can't even have simple opt-ins yet. So it's going to be a while before we have carts. Now, I'm still hoping, I'm holding out, like you were saying earlier, Andrea, of you are still like keeping your hopes up. I'm hoping that there's some like big update that they need to just release. Maybe they've got a lot of this fixed on their, you know, internal server or something, and they just need to update it. And then there will be a few more things that we can do. I think that e-commerce and cart stuff is a long way off. I'm pretty sure that like obviously funnels are their next priority, but then I'm thinking that membership areas are going to be after that.
I hope so.
And then probably the email stuff, and then maybe even affiliate stuff, and then maybe e-commerce cart stuff. I probably could be, I'm probably off on that order, but that's like, I'm going based off of what they had available in 1.0.
I think they're going to bump up e-commerce though, because of all of the the 2CCX program has a whole e-commerce track. And
Yeah.
so
Oh,
I
that's
think,
true. That's very
yeah,
true. Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe that'll come before affiliate
I think it's going to
capabilities.
come from membership.
You think
I think
memberships, because they're already working and like showing that they have membership capabilities?
I don't think so. I think they're going to bump up. I mean, because e-commerce is at the, they're acquisition minded folks and not fulfillment minded folks a lot of times. So
yeah.
I think
Okay. Time will tell.
I
I
know.
will come back to Nathan though. And Andrea, this might be, I want your answer to this too. So
Okay.
Nathan asked, we were talking about Funnel Hub clients.
Yeah.
Do those clients come to you looking for a funnel hub or looking for a website, and you have to explain to them why they actually need a funnel hub? So for me, the person I'm currently working with is into CCX. So he knew like funnel hub, like he came to me for a specific funnel hub. I think most people are probably going to be like, I need a website, or I don't know. I guess it depends on where you're finding your clients.
Yeah. So I would say so all of my intakes always start with a discovery call, right? And so I am not in the business to convince somebody that ClickFunnels is the right strategy. So if I have to push too hard on the convincing, that's not worth it for me and my business. I'm not interested in those type of clients. But a really great example is yesterday, I had an intake with a client who she just didn't know, right? She had picked up Expert Secrets. She'd heard about this funnel thing. Like she didn't know. And so after a back and forth, right. And she was open to the idea of I never start with, we're going to make a website replacement. I always start with, in making the decision to go to ClickFunnels, you are fundamentally shifting your strategy. And so let's be really clear that you're okay with that shift. Mm-hmm. And if you're not, then I'm not a good fit. But if you are, then let's go. So if they're open and they are, starting to drink Russell's Kool-Aid, I'm all in. And that shift is easy. He kind of sells it for us anyway. But if they come to me and they have a website and it turns into kind of convincing, I'm not interested in those clients personally, just because it's, I don't want to be in that business. So hopefully that answers your question, Nathan.
Yeah. One more question from Warren.
Yeah.
Are they going to say to use 2.0 for your funnel hub and keep your funnels on 1.0 for now?
I love this question.
Could you explain why they are pushing hubs so heavily, at least for the first little while? So I think initially, like, we can't build funnels in 2.0, so we're going to have to keep them in 1.0 until we can and reliably can build them in 2.0. But do you want to take the question of why are they pushing hubs so heavily?
Yeah, because it's easier from a functionality standpoint and a technology standpoint. And I think because of the blog feature, just to your earlier question, Warren, is how you bring in the masses. I think that's why they prioritize that. Redoing the editor for a funnel, if you think about it, it is 10 times more complicated than the Funnel Hub. Funnel Hub is essentially just a glorified opt-in page, right? So there's not a lot of elements to have to navigate. I mean, they've of course added a crud more elements with the blog stuff, but at the end of the day, it's not a complex problem. Versus the funnel is super complex, probably because it's its most legacy system. So they're dealing with legacy technology that they're going to have to shift over. And anytime you do that, it's just a huge lift. The second thing is that if you think of the complexity of a funnel, right? So when we think about funnels and you think about like in 1.0 when you're building, right? And you have all the different funnel types, right? There are rules and architecture that are associated with every single funnel type. So, if you're on a sales page, if you're on an order form, if you're on an opt-in, if you're on a membership, if you're on an access page, if you're on a thank you page, if you're on a confirmation, if you're on a miscellaneous, if you're, right, there's like this there are so many dynamic moving parts when you're actually building a funnel. And that doesn't even take into consideration the second layer, which is like, what about the upsell scenario? What about the downsell scenario? What about the bump scenario? What about the multiple bump? What about the, right? So I think just the level of complexity of the funnel builder is why we're not seeing it yet. Is to rebuild that is enormous versus the Funnel Hub. Again, two things. I think it's probably easier technology wise. And two, I think it is the play to bring the masses.
Yeah. Quick side note, and then I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
And
can I just do yes, Tracy, we need to get you out of Wix. Yes. Work with Susan, do that because yes. I just did 2 customer transitions from Wix this week and very happy to be out of that.
I was just I was going to show you. I think that I screwed it up though. Let me just share my screen. So while Andrea was talking, I was setting up a new domain in our 2.0 account. And it's really, really easy. And I know we've showed this before, but we were questioning on how to do it. And we actually made it more complicated than it really needs to be. But really let me just remove this. I'm just going to show this super fast because it really is really fast.
Nathan asked a really quick question. So he said, as far as I'm aware, it's my understanding that once you start paying for 2.0, October 4th, I assume your 1.0 account goes into a special plan, which is free, keeps your funnel active, but doesn't allow you to edit anything. This would make it hard for funnels to be able to be built in 2.0 come October 4th. I agree 100%. So the business model is going to have to match the functionality for sure.
I will just say one thing. I don't think that the 1.0 account will be free. I think there will be maybe a 10. I mean, you know, when you'd pause your account, it'd be like $9.99. I think it's going to be like that. I'm pretty sure they already told us for a smaller fee, you'll be able to keep it in maintenance, not even maintenance mode. I forgot what they called it, but where everything will still be functioning, but you just won't be able to build anything new in it.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. So all you have to do is type in your domain name. That's not it. Get cfgeek.com. I love that domain. Continue.
Did you guys see that? You see what we did there? Little open loop. Watch for us at Funnel Hacking Live.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, it was working, but they're having issues. We'll show this later. Or I'll record a Loom while I'm doing, or not a Loom. I always say Loom. I'll record a video while I'm doing it and I'll post it later because I want you guys to see how easy it's going to be to do domains. Okay. Cool. I think that's it for today, though.
Yeah. You want to just mention really quick for all of our latecomers, the sessions on Thursday morning, if people want to join, and then we'll continue Friday, obviously. But yeah, do you want to just do another announcement on that?
So the next geek session. So this is a session where if you just want to come and watch me work in 2.0, or if you have, I'd say if you have questions, but I'm going to be actively working. So I'll answer as well as I can while I'm working.
Heads down and geek, not just
it's come and observe building in 2.0, and we can discover cool things together. But the next one's going to be September 8th. And if you want to check out in the group, in the Geek Out group, in the events tab, I have all of our Friday live streams and the geek sessions that are scheduled. They're all right there. So you will know exactly when the next thing is happening.
Awesome.
All right. Okay.
Cool. Hey, thanks for all of you guys' questions today. Today was really fun, just the dynamic nature of it. And thanks for being on the journey with us for what's going to happen with 2.0. So we should start a countdown probably soon.
We should.
Yeah. October 4th is right around the corner.
We'll start at September 4th or whenever our Friday live is.
The month, 30-day countdown. I love it.
Awesome. Okay, everybody.
Right. Thanks,
we'll
guys.
see you next week.
Bye.